Um, Coach, we have David Rogers and Silas Albright on the call, and Jason Savage from WHKY. When you are ready, you can make an opening statement, then I'll open it up for questions. App State put 5 scorers in double figures, led by Stanley's 20 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, along with double doubles from Lainey, Gosnell, and Michaela Porter. So, Coach, if you have some opening remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. Thank you guys for joining us. Obviously, I'm really proud of our group. First and foremost, that they got us to today. There was a lot going into this process, not only from our players, but from our administration, our support staff, our trainers. It has truly taken us a village to get here today. And I think our team played with a grateful heart from start to finish in terms of the sacrifices they've put in and we've put in. Were we perfect? No. Did we make a lot of mistakes? Yes. Are they correctable? Yes. I think the biggest thing that stands out is our depth. And if we got a foul here or a foul there, we were able to put different guys in the game, and they were able to help us. I love the stat sheet right now, just in terms of the balance. But what I love even more was our team's ability to just grind it out. Lainey Gosnell, 2 charges and a 3 in that span was a huge difference maker for us. I just can't say enough about our group.
All right, our first question is from Jason Savage from WHKY.
Coach, congratulations on the win. One of the first things I want to point out is it felt like in the first quarter, early in the second quarter, the team really started to kind of find their groove at the basket, 3-point land. I guess it was easy to expect that there would be a period of time where it would be kind of a feeling out process because of how things have been, the COVID, all that fiasco. Is that how it felt like to you, that there would be a period of time before they really found their groove?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jason, because coming into today, we've only practiced against ourselves. And so in areas where we think we looked good, we were like, we're really not going to know until we see an opponent. And we put in a new offense this year. And so we knew it was going to take time. And so I was proud of our players. We weren't getting too emotional. I mean, 2 of our starters, Pri and Tierra, started 0 for 10. And, we just kept telling them those are great shots. We got to keep going. And then I think slowly we got into a rhythm. At halftime, we're able to regroup and meet. And then I thought the third quarter, we just came out and we were relentless on the boards. And we did a lot of things really well at that point.
You mentioned the fact that you're pleased with the depth that you were able to pull off of the bench. Were you expecting to have 5 players in double figures right out of the gate?
A great question. So every day we stat practice, and it's been awesome. And we rarely have the same player win practice. And that's one thing I've tried to sell our team on, is that, hey, we're deep. We got a lot of different players that can make an impact of the game. So we've got to, and now with COVID, you never know, somebody could be out, somebody's got to step up. And so we've really kind of sold that to our players. Did I expect it on game 1? No. Did I expect Lainey and KK to both have double doubles? And I think from those of you who've been with us in the past, there's been so much fear about how we're going to replace the rebounding. And I love that we just had a group effort today.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, next we'll go to Silas Albright from the Appalachian.
Yeah, so I noticed there in that fourth quarter when Lainey took those charges, hit that 3, she hit a couple, I think, back-to-back mid-range jumpers, but she really seemed to have her fingerprints all over that game, especially there in the fourth. Can you just talk about her performance there and how important it was to help secure the win?
Yeah, Lainey is a player for us that is so committed to the game in terms of her habits. She's in the gym 3 times a week shooting. She puts so much work in. And to see her have success has been awesome. I will tell you, my assistant coach, Coach Pierce, has been on her about charges. I just did a podcast yesterday, and I talked about her ability. She's really bought in. And boy, did she take them at the right time, right? She took 2. And then her shot selection. The growth of our team, for those of you who've been with us, we were in a similar situation last year with Elon. They went zone, and we completely freaked out. And to see their growth and evolution against the zone today was a really proud moment. But to see her catch it in there with confidence, it was awesome. And and I can't go without saying she was in foul trouble in the first half. And sometimes players don't bounce back. They get 2 fouls, they get out of rhythm. But her mindset, she has the ability to not let that take her out. And I just thought it was true mental toughness today for her.
And then also for Pre, I know y'all had mentioned at the beginning of the year she was going to be handling the ball a little bit more, taking more of like a focal point of the offensive role without Polachek this year. But she had 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 20 points. Obviously, did her thing. What can you say about her playmaking ability that was on display today?
I think this is the stat line that she could produce for us. And I really think she could actually assist the ball at a higher level. And I know 7 is pretty good. But the way that she's able to get in the paint, they did a great job of when she got in the paint, they weren't helping off our shooters. And so she was able to find a little bit more for herself. I just love that she has embraced the role. What we've been working on, she executed. And it wasn't like bright lights, here we go. I'm in a different position. And so I just can't say enough about that, about her. So proud of her.
And then my last one, just looking at the stat sheet, I noticed y'all won second chance points 24-17, and then 1 point off turnovers 20-11, 2 pretty key areas of the game. Just how important, and that goes along with like hustle and just seemed like a really high effort today from your team today. Just what can you say about those 2 stat categories and the hustle you saw?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because in one of our success criteria for the game was to be us. And I told them the biggest thing that shocked me is that when I talk about us stat in practice, us hasn't been this offensive rebounding team. And so to see them in the third quarter have a group effort and just pursue loose balls, that was just that extra effort, those winning plays, and they just really wanted it. And that goes along with deflections. You hit it on the head. Those are things that are just intangibles. That comes from relentless effort.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you.
Then we'll wrap up with David Rogers. David, you're muted.
Yeah, I was having trouble with my trackball, getting to the mute button. Well, you've already answered one of my questions with regard to Lainey's performance, which she was kind of quiet in the first half and really came alive in the third and fourth quarter. But you had 11 players take the court. It really looks like maybe 7 or 8 in your primary rotation. Is that accurate? What's your kind of player management philosophy this year?
Yeah, so going into it, I had our depth at 10 today, knowing that 11 could be possible. And then in the second half, you saw that kind of shorten. And I think in the first half, we had some fouls, and I felt like the bench players went in, got experience. And what I don't want to do is limit them early. And so they get in a situation where they got to play. The guys that you saw today have been playing for us. And like I alluded to earlier, I love the depth of our team. You guys know that have been with me every year. I've had the injury bug, and we haven't had this many bodies. And I love our depth. I think our depth is an advantage. And I love the way that our players are buying into the roles of it.
It seemed like in the first half, particularly Bigot and was pretty inspiring in a lot of ways. Had some big shots, but one of the really interesting shots that I thought really kind of fired you guys up a little bit was Haley McDonald's rebound and putback there towards the end of the first half, I think.
Yeah, so we have a thing with our program called Game Changers. And so kind of getting them to buy into when you can go in there for a possession and do something that impacts winning. And that's exactly what Haley did. She knows her job. Go in, get us an offensive rebound, get us a quick bucket. And she did that. And that was actually something that we highlighted just in the locker room just moments ago. So where you look at the stat sheet, like, wow, she only played 1 minute. That 1 minute's valuable to our program.
Well, that number 40 was for Charlotte was pretty good size. What was your strategy for countering her?
Our biggest strategy was to double team her and keep her off balance. That's why we went, and then to go zone. That's why we kind of went zone. We understand who we are at this point in terms of the size. And so we've been working on that post trap. So when we play a big body, and I'm really glad we got that with our first game, we don't have a lot of big bodies to go against in practice. We're not playing with a low block player. So I thought today was a really good test for our team.
One final, what was your feeling about all your new players that you've got and their contributions today?
I thought talking with Jackie, our post, she went in and gave us valuable minutes. She didn't really play a lot last year, so she's been getting a ton of experience in practice. I liked her minutes. I think she can set great screens. We got to get her offensive rebounding a little bit better. Janae Sanders, who's a transfer for us, she sat out last year, so these are big games for her to get her rhythm back. She's dynamic. She can get to the rim. She's got to get her finishing better. Dane, who we only saw little glimpses of today, brings a toughness. Kid can stroke the ball and shoot the ball. We're going to find time for her this season. And then Faith, our point guard, she's been out a lot of this time with different injuries, but I like what she brought today. She got 2 great shots. She brings toughness on defense. So you'll see more of these guys as we continue to play.
Great. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That's it for you. Congratulations.
Lainey, Gosnell, and Stanley on deck.
Yeah, we'll have them shortly. As we said before, Lainey, 12 points, I believe 9 in the fourth quarter, along with 10 rebounds and 2 fourth quarter charges. And then 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We've got Lainey Gosnell, I guess, would be on your left, Stanley on your right, as we're viewing it. I guess maybe each of you, if you want to just kind of make an opening statement about how you thought the game went, and then we'll open it up for questions. Lainey, if you want to go first.
First of all, just thank you for having us. But feels good to be back finally, and feels good to get a win.
Yes, it definitely feels good to be back. I think having everyone, especially T, has been amazing for all of us to get on the floor together. Love the fact that we got a win. Of course, there's some things we could always fix to be better, but we live and we're learning as we go on.
All right, we'll start right back with David Rogers and Blowing Rock.
Yeah, Lainey, what kind of Kool-Aid did Coach feed you at halftime that you really kind of came alive in the second half?
I don't know. I was struggling first half in foul trouble, and so I guess I just had a lot of gas left in my tank, so I was able to put it all out there the second half, or really fourth quarter. But I guess no special Kool-Aid, just fresh legs.
What did you guys see from Charlotte that maybe you weren't expecting or were surprised at?
Well, for me, we kind of prepared, of course, for downing for the screens. So it was that's how they played their defense for last season. So that wasn't really expected, but at the same time, we could expect it because we did prepare for it. I was just expecting to see them down more defensively, but
so we had to make an adjustment to the switch. The 5 was actually on KK, so instead of me setting the screen, she set the screen. But that was an adjustment we had to make just due to how they are guarding that top screen.
Coach said you guys have keep stats every day for practice and have a winner, I guess a stat winner every day. Which of you have won more stat days than the other?
3.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll go next to Silas Albright from the Appalachian.
Yeah, first I guess obviously last year Ashley was mostly y'all's point guard. She handled the ball a lot, but now you're kind of stepping into that role more this year. Obviously, you had 7 assists. You made plays, getting to the basket, passing out to teammates. What can you say about your first game in more of a point guard role and your performance?
I would definitely say that it is different. She could even attest to this with me just being nervous with that. But I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to help the team for all of us to be better. And as time goes on, I'll adjust. And like I said, it's nothing perfect. So as we continue to pound the stone, I'm looking forward to getting better at that position for the team.
Lainey, obviously you guys had a bunch of offensive rebounds today, kind of extended possessions there, got capitalized on second chance points a lot. Just how big do you think it was to just have a bunch of y'all crashing the glass and seem to keep coming up with boards?
It's been a really big emphasis for us during practice of how important rebounding is going to be, and I think one of our biggest things in the first half is we weren't getting any O boards, and we were boxing out the defensive end, giving up a couple of those 50-50 balls, but especially the offensive end, we just weren't getting any second chances. So I kind of saw that from being on the bench and knew there was important emphasis in the second half. So I just went out there and tried to do my part because we've got to fill that hole with our rotating 4 and 5s.
Right. Last one. So obviously you guys opened the season with the win. I saw first time since like I think 2012-13. Just how's it feel to be 1-0?
Feels good.
Thank you. Congrats on the
Thank
win.
you.
All right, and then we'll wrap up with Jason Savage from WHKY in Hickory.
Pri, we'll start with you. I asked Coach a very similar phrased question, but I'm giving it a little differently to you. As the point, did it feel like it took some time to kind of get yourselves into a rhythm, into actual game rhythm against somebody else?
Yes. For me, running point, it's like I have to make sure everyone is set appropriately. I mean, I'm attacking off screens and stuff, hoping, to set my teammates up in a good spot and everything. And running my lane is not nowhere near like that. So it is a big adjustment. But as I said before, we're going to continue to pound the stone, and I'm just going to continue to get better at that as time goes on.
And Lainey, my final question goes to you. David mentioned about that fourth quarter, obviously. Did it feel like you were starting to find that stroke, find that rhythm?
Yeah, just recently in practice, they kind of moved me to the 5 spot because just with the experience and being an upperclassman, we kind of needed someone to fill those shoes. And so I've kind of like spent some time getting adjusted to that position. And so I haven't really played a lot of the inside of the zone or vice versa, the inside of on offense. And so just getting in the rhythm of that has been good in practice and being able to like be that role. But I mean, it's still basketball at the end of the day.
Thank y'all. Congratulations.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Anyone else have anything? All right. Well, thanks you two for joining us, and congrats on the win.
Congrats on being undefeated.
Yes.